Alright, hello everyone, good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving and fall holiday to all of you in the US. And before Thanksgiving dinner, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be playing some tunes on my recorder for all of you. We'll be playing some pieces by Bach, and then we're going to move into more movie, film, as well as video game music later on in the stream. So, that being said, thanks so much for tuning in if you're just joining right now, or if you're, shuffling in here later on. Thanks so much for being here with me. And without further ado, let me introduce the first piece I'm going to be playing. I'll be performing the flute part on my tenor recorder to Bach's Brandenburg Concerto number 5 in D major. So, in this concerto, usually you would have a solo flute, a solo harpsichord, which is very interesting because this piece was actually the first keyboard concerto of its type. And you'd also have a solo violin. But what's interesting about the tenor recorder that I have with me right now, if I play the bottommost note by covering all the holes on the instrument, that bottom note is middle C, and therefore it has the same range as the Baroque flute would have. So now we are able to play the flute part to this Bach concerto on this tenor recorder. A little bit more about the tenor recorder. Well, it is very lengthy, as you can see. It's much deeper than the standard soprano recorder by an octave. So the soprano recorder that is taught in a lot of schools and entry-level music classes in elementary as well as in middle school, when you cover all the holes on the instrument, you would get a C as well. That C on the tenor recorder is actually right here, where you're not covering all the holes, you're just covering the thumb hole and then the second one on the front of the instrument. However, since it is deeper by an octave, when we do cover all of the holes in the instrument, we again get to middle C. There's such a stretch on the instrument, you have this key here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Theseus Spencer. Yes, this is a tenor recorder. Can I play... Oh, hello Bob and Muir loves Greg's. How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in. By Ed Miliband. I'll try to look for that song later on. Don't worry. Sounds interesting. And the tenor recorder is actually going to be reading the treble clef. It unfortunately can't go into the true tenor range where it would be on the staff, but it is nice to have that middle C and a much more mellow tone to it. Alright, without further ado, here's Brandenburg Concerto number 5 by Bach. I'm going to play the intro, so you could hear the main theme, but usually the main theme would be played on a violin. But I could get it on the recorder too. Alrighty. Josh's turn. Oh, thank you so much to War Verstappen Fan 133. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Alright, page 2 of this Brandenburg Concerto. Some trills. And here in the actual performance of the concerto, you'll have a crazy harpsichord solo that the harpsichord is just basically doing shredding on a keyboard instrument, and then you have all these crazy arpeggios. It goes on for about 3 minutes or so, and then the orchestra returns, the flute, the violins, the violas, and of course the harpsichord returns back to its accompanying role. But for those 3 minutes in this concerto, you see the harpsichord come from an accompanying instrument into the solo spotlight. So if you're ever curious to see how that cadenza and that solo is, please look up a recording of Brandenburg Concerto 5 on YouTube. Alright, so after that harpsichord solo for about 3 minutes, we come back to the main theme. Thank you so much. That was the first movement there. Alrighty, I gotta read all these. Thank you so much for all the messages, everyone. I'm just scrolling back to hear Horse Whistle Lied. Can't take credit for the raid, I don't want to. Oh man. Thank you so much, Scar Insync 33. Thank you, Eggington 22, Freddy Gaming YouTube. The Suspenser again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi Tyler Kid, KTM50. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Alright, now second movement. So in the fifth Brandenburg, in the second movement, you're still following the concerto form, which is fast, slow, then fast. We just got through the fast movement, so this one's going to be a much more slower, more relaxed pace. Bach writes affettuoso as the tempo marking, so he wants this to be a very expressive, slow, kind of mournful and resonant movement in this concerto. In the actual recording of it, there's just the solo harpsichord and then the violin and then the flute, so we're going to go through it. Another interesting part to this second movement, our first movement was in the major key of D, while in the second movement we're going to go to B minor, which is a relative key to D major. Alright, here's the second movement. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, that's how it goes. Dun 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 dun. Yes. Alrighty. Okay, so now we get to the third movement of the concerto, and again, our format is fast, slow, and fast. So this is going to be a very fast movement. Usually in the Baroque period, on the third movement of a concerto, you would have kind of a bouncier, more of a jig-like like a feeling, so like an Irish jig kind of. Here you have this, there's so many triplets, so this rhythm here is very important in this third movement of the concerto. And then you also hear it as this. So listen for those different instances where you hear those triplets, those very playful and bouncy triplets as we play through this. I haven't really gone through the second page of it because there's a ton of these tricky cross fingerings that you have to do, so we're going to have to play it a little bit under tempo, but you know, practice makes permanent, so we could keep going at it. Alright, third movement of Brandenburg 5. Turn and a little bit of breather. Okay, thank goodness there's a page turn there. thank you. Oh my goodness, that was exhilarating. That's the first time I think I've played through the third movement. Trying to do no stops on stream before. I took it a little too fast and I could actually play it, but I need to take it a little bit slower because, again, all those cross fingerings, like stuff like this. That thing, I rushed through it too quickly. I wasn't able to get it. That little stinker, you know. Oh my goodness. It's really fun though. I really love I love that, doing that. Slurring it, putting a slur over all of that. I love that. This part is really tricky too, where I have these climbing arpeggios going through chords. There, you kind of just have to move your fingers really quickly, and hopefully you hit all of them. The other tricky part is we're getting to these higher registers here, especially at this top D and then top C sharp. So the top D is all of these fingers half covering the hole in the back, and then doing 1, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 and 7, like that. And you also have to use the key. Then so high D, and then C sharp is kind of tricky because you kind of have to cover. There isn't really a fingering for C sharp that works for every instrument, but the one specifically on this Yamaha tenor would be the same high D fingering, except you're going to put your middle finger down here to cover hole number 5. Just to change the pitch by a half step lower to get to that high C sharp. Alright, now I think I'm gonna be done with that concerto for a while. Let's go to some like movie and TV sheet music now. I have this interesting piece here. I'll start playing it. And I think some people might recognize it. You know what? I'll just be a little mischievous here and I don't know about the copyright or anything like that, but this is the next song I'll be playing. The Pink Panther, and I think it's mirrored. I'm sorry, it says the Pink Panther, but it's going to be backwards when you actually view it. Whoops. Alright, so anyways, I'm going to be playing the Pink Panther. This is actually the first violin part, but oh well. It's still an instrument that plays in treble clef, so we might as well, you know? Alright. Need to get into, you know, jazzy. Alright. Thank you, thank you. Right, that was fun. Kind of had to do some improv there, and those measures of rest that are just randomly in the first violin part for that. Oh well. That was fun, just, play some things based off of main theme and stuff. You have to be on your toes when you're improvising like that. Alrighty. How about we move on to some, movie music and stuff like that. Let me go get my iPad that has more stuff on it. Alrighty. Let's see what we could pull out today. I think I am going to start with some Pokemon music, because why not? Mainly a Pokemon channel. Let's play some Pokemon music. Let me just get over here and find the sheets. I should have... there we go, alright. Okay, first piece that we'll be doing is... oh, there it is. Right, first piece we will be doing is Route 201 from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. This will be from the Sinnoh games. The originals were on the DS, and then of course they had the remakes that were on the Switch. Let me just figure out a way I could put this on here without it falling. Okay, I think we're gonna be good. Just like that. Alright, hopefully that doesn't... there we go. Okay, hopefully that stays together. Fingers crossed, Okay. I think I'll play this on the alto. Let's let this tenor air out, and then I could talk about the alto for a bit. Alright, so this is the Alto Recorder. If I hold it up next to the tenor, it is a smaller instrument, but still larger than the standard soprano recorder. This instrument, the alto, is in the key of F. So if I cover all the holes all the way down to the bottom using all my fingers, we get a low F. It's a much more mellow sounding recorder compared to the soprano. However, we do get into that higher range that you would expect on the soprano, so therefore we also have a piercing sound too if we get higher. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to be playing Route 201 from Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, that was Route 201 from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I actually played Pokemon Platinum when I was in grade school. That was my first Pokemon game. So, yeah, that song is from there as well, because Platinum, again, I think it's, in my opinion, it's the best of the Sinnoh games in Gen 4. Alright. How about some How to Train Your Dragon? Let me find it, though. I should have saved all of these beforehand. No fear, you could find them everywhere here. Alright, please be in the correct key. It should be in B major. There we go. This is perfect. Alright, there we go. We found it. Correct key as well, that's great. Okay. It's a piano score, so I'm trying to figure out where. There's a part in the actual one where it goes dun 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 dun. Can't find it. Oh. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. I found it. So resuming. Thank you. This piano score is tricky. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I kind of had to pause. Yeah, there's a key change right there. Let me try and go back. Alrighty, there we go. Take two. Take two always works. So at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Got to the end. Perfect. Alright, next I'm just going to play through a pop song that is surprisingly over a decade old now, Pompeii by Bastille. I remember listening to this song the first time in, oh my goodness, it was like a car ride somewhere. My family, we were all going to the mall or something, and I just heard it. I was like, oh my goodness, this is a crazy song. You know, in the beginning, the oh, 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 something like that. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this song? And then now, 10 years later, it's still, I think it's still such an interesting song to just listen to. Alright. The key, I believe it's in A major. So that means... Alright, yeah, it is an A major. Okay. Alright, I have the lyrics pulled up so I could just follow along, I guess. While I'm playing, I lose my place. Like, I don't want to do the refrain a little too many times, and I need to, and stuff like that. Alright, let's go. Let's get it. This is Pompeii. was Pompeii by Bastille. What song should I do next? Alright, the next song I'll be doing is from a DreamWorks film. This is going to be Oogway Ascends from Kung Fu Panda. Again, if you're watching the Thanksgiving Day parade, you actually saw Kung Fu Panda float. They had one of those balloons, and they also had, I can't remember if it's underneath the float or not, but I know for sure they had a giant Poe balloon there in the parade, and I was like, oh my goodness, are they announcing something new? And apparently they're making Kung Fu Panda 4. It's going to be released in spring 2024 next year, so that is really exciting. With that being said, let's play some Master Oogway Ascends. Thank you. That was Oogway Ascends from Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, and 3. I think it's one of those leitmotifs that you just hear it every now and then in all the movies. Right, the next song I'll be performing is Burn by Ellie Goulding. Thank you so much. That was Ellie Goulding's Burn. Alright, for the final piece, I'll be playing Simple Gifts, which is a song that's usually sung around Thanksgiving. And it's also a piece that just talks about the simplicity of, the harvest and spending time with friends and family. So what better a piece to close off this session with than Simple Gifts? Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this practice session on the recorder. Hope everyone enjoyed the pieces of music that I played through, and also that you've learned a little bit about the instrument itself. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please have a wonderful fall holiday / Thanksgiving if you celebrate that here in the U.S. And yeah, it's almost dinner time at my house, actually, so looks like I better wrap it up there. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Thank you so much to Gaming Chains sponsor Verstappen Fan 133, Tyler Kidd KTM 50, Bobby Muir Loves Greg's, and all of you who have just been tuning in, and all the support as well. Thank you so much. Also to FIT Blurbs and Freddy Gaming YouTube. Just going through all the messages right now. I wasn't able to do that while I was playing. Sorry about that. And the Suspenser as well. Thank you so much. Tenor Recorder for the win. Yeah. Love hearing that. Eggington 22 as well. Thank you to Scar Instinct 33. Horse to Wessel Lied. There's a request there, right? Buggers. We also have The Rat King's gone. Thanks so much again. Alright, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the support. That was wonderful seeing all these new people here. Thank you so much again. And yeah, thank you so much to for all of your support. And yeah, have a wonderful Thanksgiving to everyone. Take it easy. Do something nice for someone. I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks so much. Take care.